What's going on, YouTube? It is your girl Lauren Finesse, and we are back to talk about a little something something. Y'all know when these things come across my desk, we got to talk about it. And there's been a couple things that have been on my mind the past couple days. Some controversial things have been going on in the world. What the is going on in the world? Like, the world is, it's been a crazy place. I can't even say it's becoming a crazy place because it's been a crazy place. But there were a couple things that I wanted to go over and talk about because we just got to get a discussion going. Some of these things, I'm going to do a short. Y'all still in the Passport Bros short video. Like, that video is just so controversial. I get at least 5 comments a day to that video. Love the engagement on it, but a lot of people are assuming without watching the full video, so it kind of takes away from what the video, like the points I was making in the video, but that's fine. That's life, right? So you've already seen the title, so you already know what it's about. So let's jump right in. So the first thing that I want to talk about are these Americans that were captured in Matamoros, Mexico. You had a woman and 2 or 3 men. I know that total there were 4 Americans. However, you only see 3 on video, and I've only seen pictures of 3 released, which are 2 men and a lady. So I'm really not sure who that 4th person is, because on the video I only see 3 people. But basically you have this woman, and she went with these 2 men, and basically she was going to get a tummy tuck in Matamoros, Mexico, obviously because it was cheaper. So much to unpack just with that right there. Firstly, I am glad that they've been found because they have been missing since last week. This actually happened last Friday. However, I don't think I heard about it until I think Sunday. I think it was. Today's Tuesday. I think I heard about it on Sunday. But they've been missing since last Friday. I'm happy that they've been found. Unfortunately, 2 of the 4 were found deceased, which if you've seen the video, it's very graphic. It's clear that 2 of the people were deceased in the video. The woman who was going to get the tummy tuck, you can see her being put on the back of the vehicle, the pickup truck, before them pulling off. So what they're reporting is that basically the cartel, the Gulf Cartel, that's the name of the cartel there in Matamoros, Mexico, that they assumed that these were Haitian drug smugglers coming into Mexico to, I don't know, buy drugs, give to competition or whatever, what have you. But their vehicle, which had South Carolina plates, which is where they were from, was shot up, and then they were dragged from the vehicle, put on the back of the pickup truck, and kidnapped. Like I said, all 4 were found. 2 were found deceased. 1 is actually in grave condition. They don't know if that 3rd person will make it. And the 4th person we believe who was uninjured is the woman that was getting the tummy tuck. Let's stop right there. Let's just right there, right? That's the gist of the story. Okay. I know that medical treatment is cheaper in these countries. However, what they did not know is that Matamoros is under a level 4 alert, which is a do not travel ban. Okay, it is right on the outskirts of Brownsville, Texas, so it's easy to just cross into the border of Mexico and get the stuff done and come back. From what I understand in reports, is that this was actually her 2nd visit. So I'm guessing a part of her was feeling safe, if you will. I also think that the men she took with her for safety. And it really sucks that these men were innocently killed because this woman wanted to get a tummy tuck. And I know that this woman is going to be traumatized for the rest of her life. And she still didn't get the tummy tuck. So I'm kind of like, ma'am, you did all of this. You lost friends or family. And now you're traumatized, and you still, I don't want to be an a-hole, but like, you still got a big ass stomach. You still need a tummy tuck. You still, and I saw the video, chunky girl, you're still chunky. And now on top of that, you're probably going to gain more weight, possibly, because now you're traumatized. And that should cause some type of PTSD and depression. And the whole thing is a mess. The whole thing is a mess. I feel really bad for the men who died. But ladies, we have got to stop. Let me tell you something. I understand that in this age of social media, everyone wants to look good. They want to feel good. And they want it instant, right? We live in a McDonaldized society where everything is quick. Everything is, not McDonaldized, I'm sorry. The microwave society is what they call it, where everything is quick and we don't want to work for things. We don't want to wait for things. Everyone is impatient. Everyone is like now, now, now. And I think that, and let me take a step back and just talk to the ladies for a second. Ladies, we gotta stop. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I want to get me a little lipo, a little suck, a little lift and things like that. But if I can't do it with some of the best doctors here in America, I'm not gonna get it done. We've seen too many horror stories. I think, where was Kanye's mom when she got that surgery? I think she went out of the country because she didn't want to be seen or known. So I think for hers, it was like a secret, and that's what happened. But look what happened. It doesn't matter if you have the money or not. Some of these doctors in these countries are just not top. They're not top tier. She could have easily went to Beverly Hills. Easily. We've seen plenty of women, they go to the Dominican Republic, they're going to Costa Rica, they're going to Brazil for tummy tucks, for BBLs, for all of these different procedures. They're going to Colombia to get their teeth done. I have a friend of mine, Danny, she actually went into Mexico. I forget the city, but she went into Mexico from Texas. She lives in Dallas. She drove into Mexico from Dallas to get her teeth done. Her teeth look amazing. And I was like, girl, please take me. Even though I was like, I don't know about Mexico. Like, Mexico scares me. I have been all over the world, but Mexico, I've never been to Mexico. And when I even think about going to Mexico, I want to go to Baja California Sur, which is Mexico, but it's really California, Mexico, right? Like, I don't want to be deep in Mexico. And they tell you when you go there, don't leave off of the resort. Like, you should just not be roaming free, because there are a lot of drugs and cartels, and you just don't know, especially if you're not from there. You just don't know. But I had a friend of mine, she got her teeth done. They looked amazing. I wanted to go. I was like, girl, take me. Because, I mean, her teeth are top tier, and she got them done in Mexico. But thinking about it now, like playing it back, like, wow, that could have happened to my friend. You're going to this like town in Mexico because they have a cheap dental care, and it's like, it's not worth your life. It's not worth your family's life or your friend's life, or getting kidnapped and being traumatized for the rest of your life. But for a tummy tuck, listen, if you cannot afford it in the US, then that means you can't afford it. Period. And I don't want to be harsh, because this woman is definitely going to go through a lot, and also their surviving victim if they pull through, and also the families of the two men that we know are already deceased. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. And it's clear that you didn't have the money to get it done here, or else you would have got it done here. And it's tax time, and it's just like, I don't know her background. I'm sure that'll come out later. I'm assuming she has several children. Like, I don't want to put her into a box or stereotype her, because I'm a black woman, she's a black woman. I don't want to be that person. But as a black woman, I also want to be like, let's have a keep it real moment. Like, ladies, let's have a keep it real moment. If you cannot afford it in the US, then that means that you can't afford it. What do they always say? If you can't afford to buy it twice, then you can't afford it. That's just what it is. And these countries, not only do you have the threat of cartels and violence because you're an outsider, but then there's an additional threat of cleanliness and board standards that are different in these countries. You could lose your life on the table. Like, we've seen it just countless amount of times. So ladies, get into the gym. The gym, get into the gym. Y'all just don't want to do the work. And again, I'm guilty of it to an extent too. Um, I'm always transparent with you guys. I actually did have a breast reduction some years ago in the US. I did need to leave to get it done. And so I want to get another breast reduction because my boobs have just, as I've gotten older, they've gotten bigger, and I want to get a breast reduction, get some lipo. But I also go to the gym. You know what I mean? I also go to the gym, and if I can get it done naturally by going to the gym and just eating healthy, that's what I'm going to do first. That's going to be my first line of defense, because going into surgeries like that, there's a risk of you losing your life. But when people go into these countries, it's normally because it's cheaper. And I get it. But ladies, please go to the gym, eat right, become disciplined, and change. Because a lot of doctors will give you like a psychiatric test first, right? They want to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. And I get it. Sometimes we gain weight and we feel depressed and we're unhappy. And again, we want that instant gratification of, well, just cut it off and then I'll be fine. But if you can't afford it, then that's not your lane. That's not your lane. And so, again, rest in peace to those two victims. I hope the third person pulls through. And to the woman that wanted to get the tummy tuck, maybe someone famous. You know what? This is what came across my mind, because this is how effed up America is. I was like, you know what? She'll probably now get the surgery, because I'm sure there will be a level of outpouring and support from Americans, which it should. Let's band together, because they were innocent. All in all, they were innocent. I want to stress that. I'm not coming down on her for wanting to feel and look better. They were innocent. They were not Haitian drug smugglers. They were just wrong place, wrong time, wrong skin tone, wrong skin color, and everything like that. So that we understand. So I don't want to put any blame. They were innocent. But I think that she'll probably get money. If she comes and does a GoFundMe, or if someone in the family does a GoFundMe, it will make a lot of money. And she'll probably take that money and get a tummy tuck here somewhere in America. Maybe Dr. Miami will step up and do it for free or for a fraction of the cost, as a consolation prize for being kidnapped and her friends and her family being killed in Mexico. America, you gotta love it, right? America. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, I wanted to talk about, and I'm not gonna spend a long time on it, so let's just it's a hit it and quit it. Chris Rock's stand-up special. Let me be clear. I have seen a lot of people that don't think Chris Rock is funny. I've seen a lot of people who were talking junk about Chris Rock and about his special, and is it old and da-da-da-da. But let me say this. I am someone who has always thought Chris Rock was funny. Chris Rock tells intelligent comedy, okay? Like, if you saw that comedy special, he surgically put these jokes together, and then they culminated at the end, and it was brilliant. Like, I'm sorry, if you're not into intelligent comedy and you're just into, oh, my baby mama this and my baby daddy this, or that like shock jock ratchet comedy that Corey Holcomb does, which Corey Holcomb is actually one of my uncle's best friends. So I love Corey, so it's not against him. But Corey's level of, oh, I'm gonna come on your baby's bib and wipe it off and throw it to the dog. Like, they say this outrageous shock jock comedy. That isn't what Chris Rock does. Chris Rock, I can tell you, even the bits, if you haven't seen it, so spoiler, I'm not going to tell the joke, but he talks about, well, I don't want to get into it with any rappers. And he tells a joke about Snoop Dogg, and he brings it back to, I don't want to get into any rappers. Then he sneaks a joke in about Jay-Z and says, I don't want to get into it with any more rappers. And so there's a theme there that he constantly ties into different instances and different jokes. And they all make sense and they're all funny, all to get to, obviously, the Will Smith conflict. He tells a joke about his daughter and how his daughter was expelled from high school and how now his daughter lives in Paris. And when she was a baby, she used to bite people. And then literally 20 minutes later, he brings up his mom and talks about how his mom is visiting his daughter in Paris and she bites her. You know what I mean? Like, he implements these little nuggets, and then at the end they culminate into this like big joke. And so That's smart comedy, guys. Like, Cat Williams does that type of comedy where he'll give you nuggets and then it'll turn. I actually, the best comedians know how to surgically put together a comedy special, and not all comedians can do that. And to hear people saying that Chris Rock is cooning and he's pandering to white people, I just was like, you guys must just have never listened to his stand-up. Have you ever seen his stand-up? He tells intelligent comedy like Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, let me say this. Dave Chappelle, if you guys remember his older stand-ups, that was a little bit of pandering to white people a little bit, right? It wasn't until he was done wrong that he took a step back to say, whoa, I'm not doing these jokes for anybody but myself, and I'm gonna tell the truth and be transparent, and this is who I am. And we love Dave Chappelle for that. And I think Chris Rock went through that with the Will Smith thing, where it's like, okay, I need to take a step back. A lot of people turn their back on me, and I need to just tell my truth and da 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 da. So we respect intelligent comedians, the Dave Chappelles, the Cat Williams, the Chris Rocks, the Louis C.K. I know it's controversial, but again, I am someone who has watched Louis C.K. for years and years and years, and despite the sexual allegations and like some of the racial stuff that he's been caught up in, I liked him prior to then. He's hilarious. I still watch Seinfeld. Seinfeld isn't good for stand-up. It's good on the show, but overall, I like intelligent comedy. So y'all give Chris Rock a break. If you're not into like intelligent comedic stand-ups and you want that slapstick, Marlon Wayans, who is not funny at all. Marlon Wayans is so fucking corny, y'all. I can't. Or even Kevin Hart. Let me say this. Kevin Hart isn't funny, but Kevin Hart is comedic, if that makes sense. Like, some of his stand-ups are like, okay. Or when you see him like improving, interacting with people, you're like, okay, Kevin Hart is funny. But he's not that funny. I think Mike Epps is hilarious, but sometimes Mike Epps in his stand-ups, he gets quiet, he has a lot of dead space, and so a lot of people, like, his timing is sometimes off, but we see him in movies and he is, we're crying laughing at Mike Epps. So give Chris Rock a break. If you haven't seen Chris Rock's special, Selective Outrage, I recommend watching it on Netflix. I've actually watched it twice. I liked it, my parents liked it. It's intelligent comedy. I don't think he was cooning or pandering. Enough of that. All right, the last thing that I wanted to talk about, oh y'all, the ladies, y'all gonna be mad. Some of y'all gonna be mad. Some of y'all it's gonna click and make sense, but some of y'all gonna be mad, and I apologize up front. These are my feelings and my views, so please forgive me. On social media, and I saw this last week, there is a guy who's saying that he has okay, these braids are really holding up, guys. Like, they're really, I know my shirt is a little provocative, but like, I was wearing it anyway. It's fine. But anyway, there is a guy on social media who has 7 kids and 7 baby mamas. He doesn't take care of any of them, and he's like, basically, you know what, I will insert just a clip of what I'm talking about now, and I'll also put in the clips in the description box below. But here is just a little bit of what this guy has to say.
A lot of women having an issue calling me a deadbeat because I tell them I was being irresponsible, yet not wearing protection. But I always tell these women that I got pregnant that I do not want to be a father to these children. And I offer to pay for the abortion. Majority of times they'll either take the abortion or they'll take a plan B. But only these 7 have kept these children. But the crazy thing about it is they want me to be responsible for some children I told them I did not want. So for some years now, some of them been trying to get in contact with me, access denied. Because I don't really know why you trying to get in contact with me. I done told you I did not want them kids. So don't expect me to be responsible financially, emotional, spiritually, mentally, or physically with some kids I do not want. And I don't give a what nobody think about it. You're not going to force children up on me. Yeah, we both made the decision to lay down and have intercourse. We both was irresponsible about the decisions we made that night. Yeah, I could have pulled out, but I didn't. And I ain't care to pull out because...
All right, so it's a lot to unpack, but we're gonna unpack it fairly quickly. Bottom line, women, we are the ones that have to carry that baby. Okay, as ignorant as he sounded, there is no doubt in my mind that that is who he showed up as when you met him. There is no doubt that that's who he is. So it's a, as harshly as it sounds what he's saying, a lot of what he said is correct. There was only one thing that I found that was contradictory that I was like, okay, so, and I'll get into that in a second, but everything he said I agreed with, you know, with the exception of the contradiction. We have to carry those babies. We do. Our bodies have to change. We get the stress marks. We get the post, I almost said postnatal trauma, which it is that, but we're the ones that have the, what is it called? You know, like, you know, when you have depression after you have the baby, we're the ones that have to go through that. Losing hair, losing weight, not feeling like ourselves. Our hormones are all over the place. So knowing that you have to go through all of those things mentally, physically, emotionally, you would want to go through those things, one, with a partner that's going to support you and be there with you. But also you want to have that experience for and with someone that deserves it. Like, this man clearly is telling you, I don't deserve for you to have a baby with me. So why would you want to keep a baby with this idiot? Because he's an idiot. I think what he's saying is correct, but he's a fucking idiot because he just is. Okay. Ultimately, because the children are innocent. And as adults, we sometimes, well, not sometimes, as adults, we have to put our own feelings to the back and take care of children because babies and children are innocent. You know what I mean? So ultimately, he says that, you know, there were many women, many women who he paid for abortions or they took a plan B. It was only these 7 women who did not listen. They didn't listen. So it's almost like he's feeling like he needs to punish them for not listening to him. So he has definitely some control issues. He probably, I don't want to get too deep, but I don't think that he had any control or felt like he had any control as a youth, and is somehow going out into the world and wanting to control the outcomes of things that ultimately he does not have control over. Because you can tell a woman 100 times, don't have this baby, I'm not going to be there, in an effort to scare them or threaten them. But if they have the baby, then they have the baby, and you're the father. It just, you know what I mean? Which is, I'm gonna say this, fellas, I'm on your side. That's fucked up. I don't like when women have spite babies. Why are you having a baby out of spite? If this man does not want to be with you, he is not your partner, he is not someone that you can see a future with. If he is someone that you can see a future with, but he's telling you he doesn't see a future with you, why are you having a baby? Why? Like, a lot of women put themselves in these situations, and while I understand and I can understand how they feel, it doesn't make sense. You're putting yourself at risk, you're putting your child at risk for someone that clearly doesn't deserve it. It's just dumb. Ladies, stop. You know, and then if this is something you want to do, you want to have sex with these men, protect yourself, because I also agree, it's my body. Again, I don't want to get too personal. I have an IUD, right? I have my own birth control that is not dependent on anyone outside of me, because if I were to get pregnant, I would be pregnant. And ultimately, this man could leave, he could get killed, he could disappear, anything could happen, and I would still have the baby because the baby is from me, coming from inside me. I don't want to have a baby. Get you an IUD, ladies. Get you, if you don't want to do the procedure where it goes in your uterus, get the one that goes in your arm. Or make him wear a condom. Or, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that we can do as women. And it really is sad because women will bring spite babies into the world and then be upset when these babies are They grow up to be children that don't have the support or love in their household, and then they turn out to be an assholes, and then you release them out into the world and they just traumatize a whole generation of new people. It's a fucking cycle. Like, ladies, please stop. Okay. Now I was with him, except for this is where he lost me. He said something like, I know what y'all are thinking. He started with, these are not even women that I would ever want to be in love with. These are jump offs. These women are just like, ugh, I would never want to have a baby with them. And then later on in the video, he says, well, I know what y'all thinking, that I'm just having sex with anybody, but no, these women are rich, successful, fat, skinny, poor, da da da. So basically he was saying there's a myriad of women he is having sex with. But then my question is, are these women jump offs who you don't see futures with, and they're just like sluts and you just want to fuck and leave? Or are these like respectable, successful women who have their shit together, and for some reason they like a trash ass guy like you? Like, what is it? Because that could also be the case. There are some men who know that they're trash and they will get with a beautiful, successful woman because they're a trash guy, but maybe they look good or they got something going on with them, but like emotionally they're trash, or like mentally they're trash, and will ruin an amazing woman because they feel like shit themselves, right? Hurt people hurt people. It's a thing. It's a cycle. This is what I'm talking about. So I was confused on that. So if you're having sex with these women who have their shit together and they're successful, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me that you're saying, these aren't even women I would want to have sex with and have babies with. Well, who are the women that you want to have babies with? Who are these women that you want to procreate with? If like beautiful, rich, successful women, if it isn't them, then who exactly, huh? So he kind of contradicted himself to me on that, and I just found it to be, he's definitely trash, but like I said, I don't think he showed up after the fact as that person. Like, he's definitely that person on day one, and so it's not even proceed with caution. It's don't proceed at all. He is the red flag. And now I'm so glad that he like made this video online, so if you meet him and you have a baby with him, you have sex with him, you give him a chance, an opportunity, you deserve to be stuck with being a single parent. And that sounds harsh, but like, it is that. Okay. All right, guys, I've been on here for a while just running my mouth. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. How do you feel about the Americans that were kidnapped in Mexico? Side note, real quick side note for that. I felt good for them to say Americans and didn't say Black Americans, or they haven't made it about race, and I'm so thankful, and I'm glad that this story is getting the coverage that it deserves, because a lot of times we don't get that coverage. So that's why I feel sad for them, and the reason for them doing it is it's a tragedy all around. But let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you guys think about the Chris Rock comedy special. Do you think Chris Rock is funny? Is he not funny? Do you think he waited too long? Do you think it was right on time? Is he vindicated? And then the guy who's having all these babies all over the place. What do you think about that? Ladies, I want the ladies to chime in, especially on that. Do you agree? Because I think as women, we are the ones, we cannot be this pro-choice being and then let someone else make choices for our body for us, right? It isn't just abortion. If you have the baby because this man is not going to take care of this baby and you let him, then you have proactively giving him the rights over your body, because now you have to carry that baby. So are you pro-choice? Just saying. All right, guys, so if you haven't already, please go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get in the comments and let's like really talk about it. I feel like this is going to be controversial, but we love controversy. Just be controversy, but be respectful. But go ahead and leave me a comment, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. No,